Have you ever wondered if a city larger than London existed in North America before London even became a city? It did. And then it vanished. Massive pyramids rising from the American heartland. Stone cities carved into impossible cliffs. Trade routes stretching thousands of miles, all before Columbus. Yet you've never heard of Cahokia. The Mound Builders don't exist in your textbooks. The cliff dwellers remain nameless. Why were these empires erased from history? Because acknowledging them made colonization harder to justify. If North America had advanced civilizations, what happened next becomes a crime, not a discovery. Today, we uncover what was deliberately buried. Cities that outshined Europe, engineering that defied its era, empires that thrived for centuries. This chapter reveals a metropolis larger than London, with engineering marvels and social organization that still astounds us today. The history they never taught you starts now. You're watching Lost Thrones, a channel that brings history's forgotten empires and hidden truths to life. If you enjoy discovering civilizations the textbooks never taught you, make sure to like this video and stay tuned for more. Chapter 1. Cahokia, America's Forbidden Metropolis. 1050 AD, London's population 18,000. Cahokia's population 20,000. A pyramid covering 14 acres, 100 feet tall, built by hand over generations. No wheels, no machines, just human determination. 20-foot wooden walls, ceremonial plazas holding thousands, markets trading coppers and shells. London had dirt roads and wooden huts. Cahokia had urban planning. Thousands of workers carrying baskets of earth from the riverbanks. Generation after generation, adding to the mounds. Logs transported from forests miles away. Perfectly leveled grounds for ceremonies. Drainage systems, engineered to prevent floods. They understood the sun's movement. They fed 20,000 mouths with advanced agriculture. Religious leaders wielded absolute power over both the sacred and the political. This wasn't primitive. This was civilization. Then, silence. By 1350, Cahokia was a ghost city. Empty plazas, abandoned mounds, collapsed structures. What destroyed it? 20,000 people, consuming resources faster than nature could recover. Trees vanished, soil died. Then, drought struck, crops failed, famine spread. Or maybe it was war. Internal rebellion. The hierarchy shattered from within. When Europeans finally arrived, Cahokia was already ancient ruins, covered in grass. And what did early American historians say? They refused to believe Native Americans built it. Lost tribes of Israel, they claimed. Phoenician explorers. Atlantean refugees. Anyone but the indigenous people standing right there. Why? Because if Native Americans built this, the land wasn't empty wilderness waiting to be taken. It was stolen. Chapter 2. The Mound Builders, the civilization we erased. Cahokia wasn't alone. Across the entire Mississippi Valley, hundreds of mounds rose like pyramids. Who built them, and why don't we know their names? The Mississippian culture. 700 years of dominance, from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. Etowah had 6 massive mounds overlooking the river. Moundville had 26 pyramids, forming one of the continent's largest cities. Hundreds more, scattered across thousands of miles. But the mounds aren't the most remarkable part. Obsidian, from the Rocky Mountains, transported over 1,000 miles. Gulf Coast shells, crafted into intricate jewelry. Great Lakes copper, hammered into ceremonial art. This wasn't random trade. This was infrastructure. Diplomatic relationships, organized exchange networks spanning the continent. Their pottery was masterwork. Their art revealed complex cosmology. Birdmen soaring between worlds. Serpents symbolizing transformation. Gods merging human and animal. And their agriculture? Revolutionary. Massive maize cultivation. Three-sister farming with corn, beans, and squash. Crop rotation. Soil management techniques. This agricultural revolution created the surplus to build monuments, to sustain populations, to develop art and religion. Then, collapse. By 1500, most mound centers were abandoned, plazas empty, trade routes broken. When Hernando de Soto marched through in 1540, he encountered the remnants, scattered communities, fading memories. Then, European diseases arrived. 90% mortality in some regions. Entire languages died. Cultural knowledge shattered. Generations erased. Early Americans found these mounds and asked, who built them? The answer was right there, but they buried it anyway. Some mounds destroyed for farmland, others bulldozed for development. The evidence erased, just like the people. These civilizations aren't in your history books. They're still hidden beneath the soil, waiting for someone to care enough to remember. Chapter 3. The Cliff Dwellers. Architecture that defied gravity. The Four Corners, where four states meet. High desert, red rock canyons, sheer cliffs, hundreds of feet tall. In one of North America's most brutal environments, another civilization built the impossible, the ancestral Puebloans. At Mesa Verde, entire stone villages cling to cliff faces. Multi-story apartments built into natural alcoves in the sandstone. Hundreds of rooms suspended in air. Imagine the engineering. Every stone carried up treacherous trails. Every wooden beam hauled from forests 10 miles away. Every room placed with precision. Around 1200 AD, they abandoned the valley floor and moved into the cliffs. Why? Defense from raiders? Shelter from extreme temperatures? We still debate. Cliff Palace, the largest cliff dwelling in North America. 150 rooms, 23 kivas. Sacred circular chambers sunk into the rock. Home to perhaps 100 people, living on a cliff face. But the cliff dwellings were just one achievement. Travel to Chaco Canyon. Massive stone complexes rise from the desert floor. Pueblo Bonito contains over 600 rooms and stands 4 stories high. Walls 2 feet thick. Wooden beams from forests 50 miles away. And here's what's extraordinary. Buildings aligned with celestial events. The winter solstice sun shines through a precise window, illuminating a specific spiral carved into the wall. That's not luck. That's astronomy. Then there are the roads. Ancient highways radiating from Chaco Canyon. Perfectly straight, some stretching 60 miles. They don't curve around obstacles. They go straight over mesas and up cliff faces. Were they ceremonial? Practical? Both? We're still discovering answers. In a region with less than 10 inches of annual rainfall, they cultivated corn, beans, and squash. They built check dams to capture rare rains, carved terraces into hillsides, engineered irrigation channels. They made the desert bloom. Then, around 1300, they left. Great houses abandoned, cliff dwellings empty. They migrated south. Evidence points to mega drought, one of the worst in 1,000 years. Springs dried, crops withered, starvation spread. Archaeological evidence also shows violence. Burned structures, defensive positions. Perhaps the social order collapsed under environmental pressure. The descendants of the ancestral Puebloans are the modern Pueblo peoples, the Hopi, the Zuni, the Rio Grande Pueblos. They carry oral traditions thousands of years old. They remember what we forgot. Chapter 4. Ancient natural disasters that shaped civilizations. Thera eruption, Nile floods, Pompeii, earthquakes in Mesopotamia. These were the catastrophes that changed history. Imagine a volcanic eruption, so massive it wiped out an entire civilization. In Thera, the eruption changed the course of the ancient world. Tsunamis, ash clouds, widespread destruction. The Minoans never recovered. Then, the Nile floods. Every year, the river overflowed, renewing the land with fertile soil. But sometimes, the floods came too early or too late. Too much water drowned the crops. Too little water led to famine. The ancient Egyptian learned to navigate this delicate balance. But one failed harvest could lead to chaos. Pompeii, a Roman city buried by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. In an instant, its people were frozen in time, bodies encased in volcanic ash, a snapshot of Roman life, forever preserved. And in Mesopotamia, earthquakes shook the cradle of civilization. Cities like Babylon and were devastated. But these cities rose again, rebuilt by the ingenuity of their people. Disasters reshaped the ancient world. The stories of destruction and survival still echo through history. These civilizations didn't just collapse from within. They were tested by nature's fury, and their ability to adapt, survive, and rebuild is a testament to their strength. Chapter 5. Ancient mysteries of the deep sea. Sunken cities, ancient ships, underwater ruins, Atlantean legends. What lies beneath? The allure of the deep sea has always fascinated us. Lost civilizations, hidden underwater. The mystery of the sunken city of Dwarka in India. Then, there's Yonaguni, an underwater structure off the coast of Japan. Was it built by an ancient civilization? Or is it a natural formation? Alexandria's harbor, once the heart of the ancient world, now lies submerged. The Great Lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, destroyed by earthquakes, now lost to the sea. What other secrets lie in the depths? What civilizations existed below the surface, swallowed by the ocean? Theories swirl. Could Atlantis have been real? Was it a city of gold, lost forever, beneath the waves? The sea keeps history hidden. It guards its mysteries. And perhaps, one day, we'll uncover more of what's been lost. Chapter 6. The secret still buried. Right now, beneath forests and farmland, under parking lots and suburbs, more sites. Wait, ground-penetrating radar reveals structures never excavated. LiDAR technology strips away forest cover, exposing earthworks, invisible from the ground. In 2012, archaeologists confirmed a massive woodhenge at Cahokia, a circle of wooden posts tracking solar events with precision. It had been there for 1,000 years. We just never looked. New cliff dwellings are documented every year in remote canyons, sites that haven't seen human visitors for centuries. What other civilizations existed that left no stone monuments? What cultures thrived in regions we've never properly explored? Every answer spawns more questions. Why did Cahokia's population explode so rapidly? What triggered the ancestral Pueblo and migration at that exact moment? How extensive were the trade networks really? Archaeologists are learning to listen to indigenous oral traditions. Stories passed down through generations often prove accurate when tested against the archaeological record. Traditions that seemed like myths turn out to be historical memory. The Americas were not empty before Columbus. They were not primitive. They were not waiting for Europeans to bring civilization. They were home to sophisticated societies, cities with urban planning, governments with complex hierarchies, artists who created beauty, engineers who built monuments. These lost civilizations challenge the foundation of American history as it's been taught. They force harder questions, demand deeper investigation, require recognition. That human achievement was never limited to Europe, Asia, and Africa. The thrones are lost, the empires fallen, but the legacy persists in the mounds that still rise, in the dwellings that still cling to cliffs, in the descendants who carry forward traditions thousands of years old. What other secrets lie beneath the soil you walk on? What other empires wait to be remembered? We've only scratched the surface, barely disturbed the earth, hiding centuries of history somewhere beneath where you stand right now. Another secret waits. Another piece of the puzzle. Another chapter of the story we were taught to forget. History is deeper than we imagined, more complex than our textbooks admitted, more impressive than we were allowed to believe. These civilizations didn't just vanish into the mist. They were erased, deliberately, systematically, from history books, from cultural memory, from the American consciousness. And the question that should haunt us is this: what else have we been taught to forget? What other truths were buried to make the conquest seem justified? The earth remembers what we chose to forget, and it's waiting for us to start listening. If you found this journey into lost civilizations fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Lost Thrones for more stories history tried to hide from us. Your support helps keep these forgotten empires alive in memory.